Greetings, YouTube. I think we've all seen those missing person posters somewhere. I've never seen an entire wall of them at Walmart once when I was like waiting for someone to pull a package out from out back for me. And just stunned, a number of people were up there on that wall. And I never really thought about it. Um, and I can also remember back years ago when there was this whole where a million kids a year go missing in America, when in actuality the number is far smaller than that because a whole lot of those kids are either being whisked away by family members to keep them away from an abuser, they're being thrown away, just gay or trans kids the family doesn't want, just kicked out the door, and occasionally they're running away from a situation at home that's worse than being on the street. So this it's not as dangerous as the people who are pushing those numbers thought it was. The tragedy, of course, is there actually are real people that are kidnapped every year, and some don't ever come home, which is a tragedy. But somebody recently said something online that really resonated with me, and that is just because you're seeing a missing persons poster doesn't mean it's a missing person. What if that person is running from danger? And they desperately need to get as far away from possible from the person that is a danger to them, be it a sibling, parent, boyfriend, girlfriend, anyone, stalker. And they disappear because that's the fastest way to make their new life. They need to disappear from the radar and start somewhere new. So what if you're the abuser, any of the type I just mentioned, and you want your victim back? What do? Well, of course, you put up a missing persons poster. And now you've got all kinds of well-intentioned people, probably lots of them middle-class white folks, who are going to be taken under their consideration to keep their eye out for the missing person and then report that person's location to the person that's looking for them, which could put someone into dire danger, possibly physical harm, and even death. So don't do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't keep your eye out for people that are in a missing persons poster, but if you do find one, tell them. Say, hey, there's somebody in this location that's looking for you. You might want to know something about that. And they may be real happy about it. They may use you as a lifeline to get away from wherever it is the situation that they're in, or they may thank you and disappear again because they're trying to get away from that person that put up the missing persons poster. There's no criteria for that. Anybody can do it. There's no vetting process. Just because somebody says that this person is missing doesn't mean they're missing. They could intentionally have disappeared for their own safety. It could be their emotional or financial or physical safety. They could be victims of who knows what horrible trepidations upon them. But transgressions upon them. But you don't know that. You don't know what that person's story is. You don't know their narrative. You don't know what their life is like. And you don't know the person putting up the poster. So I'm not saying don't keep your eyes open, because you should, because we should look out for each other. But that includes making sure that the person that's missing is actually missing, that person is in more danger out there in the world than they were when they were back home with the person that's currently looking for them. Because as someone who's grew up around domestic abuse, I can tell you right now that home was a shit show. It was absolutely someplace I did not want to be. I used to wander the woods around my house, I should say, not really forests, and I never felt bad. I never felt in danger, even though there were teens out there that would regularly be drinking, and drunk teens are dangerous. But I never felt scared around them. For me, terror came from the inside of the house. That's when I felt scared. When I was a kid, walking past an open door that's dark terrified me. Because in the darkness of my house, There were monsters. But out there in the world, there weren't. I knew I was safe out there. I know those woods like the back of my hand. No one could catch me when I was in those woods. But at home, in the place I had to eat, the place I had to sleep, there was no safety. No, I never made a run for it. I don't think it ever even occurred to me. I spent far more time trying to think of ways of doing in my abuser, which is not healthy. Um, didn't didn't help me at all, and I wished I had not been in a place where that seemed to be the best method to take. But that's what I did for a very long time. Come up with hundreds and hundreds of ways of doing that because it kept me sane. But if I had run and I calculated the risks to reward ratio, and I had decided that out there was safer than at home, I sure as shooting don't want you to help somebody bring me back.